Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, and more than ever, I can't remember what day of the week it is. Also, I'm in a bit of a weird mood today, which I will go into after the story if that's what you care about. But if you're here just for the story, I'm going to put you out of your misery today and do it much quicker than like the 5 minutes you had to wait to hear it. So today's prompt for Verbuary is week, which I really struggled with because week I would usually associate with like dieting or something. But yesterday, trying to keep in theme to, lockdown or the pandemic, week for me also kind of linked far too quickly to yesterday's, which was about gaining weight. And I don't want to make it all about that. However, it probably is just as depressing what I've written today, as the morose little emo I am has definitely taken my mood out on her work. I think I have to remind myself that not everything has to be bleak and horrible. Maybe I should set myself, no matter what my mood tomorrow, a more positive and happy story. But here is today's. And I just want to put a trigger warning in, that this does pertain to ideas of alcoholism or at least over drinking. So if that's something you feel sensitive to, maybe not watch this video. Thank you. So today's video, week. Why are you coughing? An overly concerned voice called out. I'm choking. Oh, good, the relieved voice answered. Another spluttered cough erupted out of Dan's mouth. The paint stripper strength vodka burning his insides as it worked its way through his body. Wiping his mouth, he sat back, momentarily closing his eyes to remember those moments, sitting back in his favourite bar, or any bar for that matter, sitting there drowning in warm light, loud music and laughter. The realization he can't remember the last time he truly laughed with people almost brought a tear to his eye. Or was that the vodka still trying to stay down? Now here he was, sat in his room, swigging from a clear bottle. No mixers, no need to be fancy. Forgotten are the days of fine malts used to create delicate old fashions. The memories of starting the night with class and ending up in any dive that would take them to throw money for overpriced drinks were now only a distant memory. Almost hard to remember, yet at the same time impossible to forget. He stopped for a moment, staring at the bottle. He knew he was drinking too much. The amount of bottles being taken out into recycling was answer enough. But he knew long before the people started to notice the bottle collections. It wasn't necessarily how he felt when he drank, but how he panicked when he didn't. A glass here or there at the beginning was perfectly acceptable. Crying into your fourth weekend martini was medicinal some weeks, and at first everybody could relate to that. Now, people had moved past the bread making, moved past the panic buying, and moved on from having those needless drinks because why not? Pandemic. Not Dan. He knew he probably should cut down a bit, and every morning the hangover would make him promise to take the night off. He would agree, feeling proud to have made the right choice, until 5 p.m. hit. He turned his computer off to finish work, and there, emptiness of the house suffocated him. What could he possibly do for another 8 to 10 hours besides sleeping or drinking? The fear would almost curdle inside him, making him sick, needing it out of his body, pressing down on his chest until no air could squeeze in. He knew. He knew what he had to do. Another cough ripped through his throat as another swig of vodka worked its way into his system. So that's my story. I feel like every time I finish it, no matter how morose it is, it's like, so that's my story. That was a bit hard to read because that was absolutely a first draft, but I kind of made myself depressed writing that. I didn't mean it to get so dark when I first wrote it, and to be honest, I'm not in the right headspace that I want to read that because I wasn't I want to say I wasn't that bad, but at the same time, I wasn't far off. During the first part of lockdown, I would drink and smoke, and I loved going out for a drink, and I loved smoking when I drank, and it was great. But I couldn't smoke in the flat. And then when I came to live with my dad, I could smoke and drink in the house. I was like, yeah, this is great. I'll get through the pandemic fine. And I started drinking and smoking far too much on a regular basis. I wouldn't say genuinely like worrisome amounts, but it was just more of like what that part said, where it's not how you felt when you were drinking, because I never got drunk. I never had hangovers, but it was how I would panic if I wasn't drinking, because if I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking. And I think it was more I wanted to smoke than drink, but I've tried to quit both at the moment. I have drank now and again, and I just don't enjoy it anymore, so I'm not going to push that. If I'm not enjoying drinking, I think my body's telling me something. But that's been for a while now, and this was a dark phase in lockdown. This was like phase 1 dark of lockdown. But yeah, I kind of talked a little bit about me in that book story, and yeah, and it's probably because of just had a day. And I don't know how much I want to talk about. I don't know how much I want to put out on the internet anymore. But I've just had a weird day. I think like this is definitely 2 things I need to talk to my therapist about. So I found out today that one of my recent exes has a new partner. And that's not what I'm upset by. I don't know what I'm upset by, but it affected me. It affected me. And I think I do know why, but I think that's for me and my therapist. But it just kind of knocked me a little bit. I think it just kind of reminds me how alone I feel, how isolated I feel. Probably the reason why drinking came to mind when the title was weak was when I'm in that kind of mood, I definitely would have once upon a time said, fuck it, I'm drinking, you know? I'm going to have a drink, you know, and I don't even mean to get wasted and forget, but just as a coping mechanism. Oh, have a glass of wine, you know, relax, it's fine. And I'm trying not to do stuff like that now. I'm trying to embrace how I feel and let that out. And I am struggling with that because it feels rubbish. And even if you discover what it is that you're feeling, doesn't mean it'll go away. It just means you know why you're feeling it. As an example, if you figured out that you still love them, well, you still love them and you can't have them back, they've moved on. Or that, you know, that you're single and alone. Well, you can't do anything because you're in a pandemic. You can't go dating. So, like, I do struggle sometimes. Like, they were genuine examples, but I'm struggling to try and embrace my bad moods or my bad feelings because I'm scared of what they might be while I can do very little about them. And it's the helplessness and the lack of control that scares the crap out of me, because that's usually why, going even more deep, but that's usually why, like, I would enter a relationship, because I have that control. That's why I have to look at all my finances all the time. That's why I want to be self-employed, because I am a control freak. My anxiety is so strongly based around control that to lose any of it is terrifying. And I know what my therapist would say. I would know before I even had a therapist. Like, that's something I've got to embrace. Life can't be controlled all the time, but it's still hard. And then another part of my very dysfunctional and broken personality, I have been working so hard on a uni assignment, like so hard, that anyone who speaks to me even semi-regularly would know that I haven't been available even to like play games online because I've been focusing so hard on my uni essay. So I am still in uni and I'm very happy about it. And I am now in my like real years of uni. I'm in my 2nd year of uni. And for the last 2 years, all my assignments did not go towards my final grade. So sometimes if I was having problems, I would always try. Pardon me. But if I was really, really struggling, I'd be like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter, just get it out. Because as long as I passed, I could go to my next year. I can't do that anymore. I've got to get good grades. And my first grade was so bad, I almost failed. And I think it's a little bit of both. I think I've got a very strict tutor now. I think that obviously the academic expectancy obviously multiplies every year and possibly with every module. And maybe I didn't have great tutors that maybe criticised my work enough. So I struggled a lot with that. I struggled so much with getting such a low score. But I also accepted that I did struggle with that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Try again. So I tried again the next month and I got something like 55, maybe 50. I got a really low score. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm failing uni. And well, it wasn't a fail, it was a pass, but it's not good enough and for me. And I emailed the tutor and I was like, I'm panicking, I don't know what to do. And one of the things that we figured out is that I've never been taught how to actually write an academic essay before. Or what I thought was an essay was not. So I spent about 6 weeks working so hard to learn, getting in touch with friends who are like have PhDs, so they have like a lot of knowledge. One of my friends is like a history lecturer, so he read over my history essay, and I really listened. And sometimes I don't take criticism well, and that is another fault of mine. And I really tried to just bite my tongue and listen to everyone and take it in. And I said to myself, I was writing my monthly goals. I was anything above a 60, I'd be happy with. And within one of the fastest times, 5 days after submitting my TMA, I got an email today saying, you've got your score. And I nearly passed out. And I ran up and I logged on and it said 74. 74 is a very high band B. It's a very good mark. I think anything over 80 is a first for online uni, because the scoring system is different, because it has to be more universal, because anyone around the world can go to Open University, because obviously they're not bound by, restricted by geography. And it was so much higher than I even gave myself a pass for. I said anything over 60 I'll be happy with. And I was instantly miserable. I was miserable because it wasn't a first. And not that I thought I expected a first. And it wasn't that I thought I deserved a first or, I should have one as is my right. I think it was literally, okay, I've instantly achieved one goal, now next goal. And I'm applying my next goal onto my previous goal results. And because it wasn't a first, therefore it wasn't good enough, even though it was so much better. And although there was obviously still criticism and constructive criticism from my tutor, it was shining. He acknowledged that my essay was so much better, like so much more concise, so much more well structured. He acknowledged that all, and there was very little wrong with the essay. There was just a lot more I could expand on it to make it a better essay, if that makes sense. And I should have been so proud, and I'm already sulking over it. And I don't really know why. I think that's it. I think it's just, well, it's not a first. It's not good enough, because that's my next goal now. And that's ridiculous. You can't apply future goals onto past results. And I know that, yet I can't stop feeling sad about it. And I'm sad that I feel alone, I guess. I'm just sad today. Oh, I got a bit emotional then. I'm just sad. And I know I'll be okay. Like, I'm not, distraught, but I feel very consumed in my sadness. My bloody PC just went on standby, which stopped the filming. So now I'm going to have to do the bare minimum of editing by putting these two pieces together. But it was probably a good job that it did, because I was going off a little on that then. But yeah, I'm just saying, right now, it's so easy to be consumed by negative feelings. And although I'm living with my dad still works. I'm on my own a lot. And it's hard. It is hard. And that's why I'm really glad I'm doing the writing, and that's why I'm really glad I'm doing the videos again. Because even if it is on this side of the camera, me just talking to a camera, I know that people, my friends, will watch this and comment, and it's so sad. I won't feel as alone. And that's why I used to vlog so much. But yeah, I'm okay. I think I'm going to watch something. I'm going to go now. I've written my story. I'm proud that I have. Once again, it's not a masterpiece, but I've done it. I've sat down and I thought of a little snippet of something and I wrote it down. That's all you have to do with Verbuary. I have to keep holding in burps. But yes, I'm a little sad today. And so I'm going to go. And hopefully, not even hopefully, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow I will have a good night's sleep. I will be better. If I can sleep, I've had a lot of depressed naps today. I sad nap a lot. For someone who was so scared of napping before lockdown, all I do is nap. That's why I didn't vlog. I just nap. I sleep so much. Not when I'm meant to, just every other time. But yeah, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching this video again. Thank you for sticking around. I'm gonna go. See you tomorrow. So bad at this.